Hello there. The next one coming up for you guys is Kenny Chesney, big country star now, but when I interviewed him in the year 2000, he just had his first greatest hits album out, but I barely knew who he was. He had She Thinks My Tractor's Sexy and a couple other songs. I then became a fan after that, and a much bigger fan now after all these years have gone by. But he was quite a bit younger here. Very nice interview, very soft-spoken, down-to-earth. The one thing that hit me about this interview is how much he talked about his influences being more heavy rock and roll, like Jackson Browne. He really loved Jackson Browne, Tom Petty, and that kind of makes sense why his country music kind of turned into a different style, and then he obviously went way toward the Jimmy Buffett realm. So enjoy Kenny Chesney before he became Kenny Chesney.
So you do me staring, looking at you or the camera?
Me.
Okay.
Just full sentences and stuff like that because we won't hear me.
Okay.
Why don't you tell me first about your new album you have out?
Well, the new album is a compilation of songs that I've had, not all the songs, but I've been releasing records since 1993, and so we've been very lucky in the past 7 years to have had the success at radio that we've had and so the amount of records that we've had. So we felt like that it was a really good time to release a greatest hits album, and that's what's out. And with every album that we put out, every CD we put out since '94, one has done better than the previous one. And we've built our career and built our fan base and built our momentum every single year with every album. And so this is, with the Greatest Hits album debuted as the best-selling country album in America this week. And so I think it's a reflection of us building our career the way we've built it in the past, 6 years. So it's a very exciting thing.
That's great. How would you like fans to, like when you're performing and writing music, how would you like fans to react to your songs?
In a positive way. I'm just kidding. No. I would like, when people come to my show, and if they go out and buy this Greatest Hits album, I want them to. I want these songs to be like a roller coaster ride. When I go to a show and when I listen to a CD, I like to be taken on a ride, and with the songs, and I think that this Greatest Hits album does that. When I go see somebody in concert, and when somebody comes to see me in concert, we try to, we want everybody to stand up and have a good time, and that's the way. That's how I feel about as a performer. I want people to be there and to know they saw a show and to know that they've left there emotionally drained, either in a good way or a bad way. And I want them to know that, not be able to wait until the record store is open the next morning.
Right. That's perfect. Who are your influences as a singer and maybe songwriter?
Well, I had a lot of influences. I mean, obviously my passion is country, so I have a lot of influences there with George Strait and with Merle Haggard and with Buck Owens and with a lot of people. But there's a lot of other people also. I mean, I'm a big Jackson Browne fan. I'm a big Tom Petty fan, and I love their music, and there's not been one person that I can sit here and say that influenced me and made me want to get in the music business more than anything, because there's not. It's just everything. It's all music, and I just love it. I love music, but when I sing, it comes out country. That's who I am. But I mean, but it's been But what got me excited about music it was more of a broader thing when I was growing up.
Great. What do you think gives a country artist longevity in today?
Well, I look at the careers in country music. I try to model myself after, I've been on the road the past 2 years with George Strait, and I've been able to tour with Alabama for 3-4 years, and and you look at their careers, you look at Reba McEntire's career, and you look at the career Conway Twitty had. The common denominator that all those careers had were great songs, and I really believe that's the secret to longevity, is songs that, like I said earlier, that they can have fun with or relate to in some way. And I think if you don't do that in music, no matter what genre you're in, I think that you miss the boat.
Great. That leads us into the one I read about, the one story of based on the Jerry Maguire's line. Can you
Right.
talk a little bit about that?
Well, I was on my tour bus, and I was watching the movie Jerry Maguire, and I heard that line in the movie, and we didn't obviously we didn't write that song about anything about the movie. We wrote it about someone who had been in a relationship before, who it didn't work, and they swore to themselves that they would never love again, and then they build up all these walls around themselves, and then all of a sudden they meet somebody in an instant, tears down all those walls, and makes them believe that they could love again. And that's what that song's about. You Had Me From Hello, and obviously we did get the line from the movie. You know, I've actually talked to Cameron Crowe a couple of times on the phone, and we've become internet buddies, and you know, and I never got to hang out with him that much though, but I saw his new movie and it's incredible. It's just amazing. I never wanted it to end, so it's been a good thing. That song was a very special song for me because it was the first #1 record that I had a chance to write, and I'd written some songs that did well but never a #1, and so thanks, Cameron.
Great. Do you feel like you've reached a bit of a pinnacle in your career, or a nice
Well, I've
success?
definitely, I don't know if that's a pinnacle, I've definitely reached another level, I feel like. There's no doubt about it. You know, with the success of this greatest hits album here in the past couple of weeks, being in the #1 selling record in country music, that just doesn't happen to everybody, and it's never happened to me before. So it shows me that we're at a different level than we were a couple of years ago. And I think the constant success and the what's the word? Shoot. Okay, take two. What's the word? Like when you're successful for a period of time. Not longevity. Consistency. Okay, where was I? What were we talking about now? Oh my God.
We were talking the pinnacle, or you're at another level.
I think that we're definitely, take two. I think that we're definitely at another level now, and I think the fact that we've been consistent with our music over the past couple of years, past 3 or 4 years, has been a big part of that. And because we've been consistent with our music, it's grown our fan base to a lot. It really has, and we've been out there on the road touring. I mean, I'm a touring artist. I don't cut my music and let them release it to the stores and hope people go buy it and sit at home. We're out there on the road a lot. You know, 10 months out of the year, we're in 2 tour buses and 3 trucks, and we're going down the road, and we're having a good time doing it. But I think the fact that we have toured so hard in the past 6 years is a big reason that this greatest hits album is doing as well as it is.
Great. I'm going to change the look up a little bit. Sure. A little over halfway there, so
That's cool.
We're getting quick here. I was just curious, the song that won, I saw in the Country Music Awards, the Murder on Music Row song. You familiar with that tune?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, do you think that's consistent with the way country music is today? The lyrics, the way it...
Well, you know, I don't get involved too much in this controversy, too pop, too country, too rock and roll. To me, like I said earlier, I grew up on country music, and it's my passion, and I love it. But I also listen, like I said, to Jackson Browne and the Eagles and Tom Petty and a lot of things. And I think that's a product of my generation. Even though we love country music, I think, and it might be one of the reasons that country music is in the phase that it's in, because a lot of the artists like me and some other people love country music. But we also grew up not just listening to country, and we were influenced by a lot of different things. I was influenced by Leonard Skinner. I was influenced by, along with Conway Twitty and George Strait and George Jones. Me and my friends, we sat and listened to Leonard Skinner all night, and we listened to all kinds of music. I know every Tom Petty record ever made. So I think that it's just got to be good music. You know, I don't get involved in this too rock and roll, too country controversy. To me, if you feel it right here and it's good music, then who cares, really?
Yeah, that's actually a good perspective. I didn't think of it from that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, obviously 20 years ago, those guys were raised on, what were their influences?
Yeah.
George Jones's. It's all changed now. You had me at Hello, we did that. Is there anybody, like a hero that you'd most like to work with that you haven't had a chance? Like a dream duet or something?
Well, I mean, I was able to tour 2 years with George Strait on the road, and that was a huge thrill. And to be able, not just to tour with George, but to be able to be friends with him and his family. That was been one of the biggest thrills that I've had, playing these huge outdoor football stadiums in front of 70,000 people. It was big. It was a lot of fun. And that was a big thrill that I've had. I've been able to record with George Jones and Randy Travis, and those are my heroes too. So already I've been able to do a lot. If I could tour with anybody, I don't know. I mean, Tim McGraw and I are great friends, and I don't know if it's a dream thing or not, but I mean, he and I may tour sometime in the near future. But I would like to have if I could have a dream tour, it would be me and Tim and 3 or 4 of our buddies go out and just slam it for one whole year and just tour, or for a summer. That'd be a lot of fun for us, and we've never really been able to do that because we've been going in different directions. But that would be a lot of fun to do, man. No doubt about it.
Oh yeah. When you've been touring, has there been any strange things that have happened to you on the road, like the Cameron Crowe movie? The whole thing was that tour bus and getting on the plane and the whole stuff.
Yeah.
Has there any weird stuff happen?
Well,
Nothing that you can comment on.
nothing that I can. Nothing that I want to, anyway.
You can mix it up if you want. That's okay.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know.
Okay. Now let's talk about a couple of songs.
Okay.
You gave me a couple of videos. All I do is just kind of need a lead into it.
Yeah.
I'll maybe tell them about the song.
Okay.
She Thinks My Tractor's Sexy.
She Thinks My Tractor's Sexy was a song that, it wasn't, as far as the charts are concerned, it wasn't the biggest record that we've ever had, but as far as record sales and as far as the fans are concerned and putting butts in seats in Coliseums, this was the biggest song that I've ever had. And it's just one of those songs that the lyrics of it obviously aren't going to change the world, but it's one of those songs that gets people to stand up and have a good time. And we tried to make that video, we tried to make it fun, and we tried to make it interesting. And this video, the day we shot this video, we were in a barn in East Tennessee, and it was about 120 degrees. It was so hot, but we definitely got through it, and this was a lot of fun to make.
Perfect. How about How Forever Feels?
How Forever Feels, we shot this video on the island of St. Thomas, and I tell you what, this was the funnest video that I've ever done. And I don't really love to do videos because it's just, I'm out of my element in front of the camera. But we kept on trying to make up things to put in this video. We had the bird on my shoulders. I was in a Richard Petty suit. I was doing we were scuba diving, we were snorkeling, we were doing all kinds of fun stuff. And we just put all that stuff into this video, and it's definitely the most fun that I've had in a video, and I think it showed up on camera.
Perfect. That's Why I'm Here?
That's Why I'm Here was my very first job as doing any kind of acting at all. I don't consider myself an actor, and I don't want to be. But it was anytime you release a record about any kind of issue, and this one being alcoholism, it's a risky thing. And they wanted me to act in it, and I didn't know if I could actually put myself in the place of the person that the song was singing, that the lyrics are written about. So it was a really hard thing for me to do, and to actually, it was definitely acting for me, because I had to completely separate myself from me and put myself in this character. And so it was a unique experience for me, and it was the first time that I've ever acted in this video.
Great. And what do you think the future holds for you? What are you going to keep touring?
Well, yeah, I mean, I hope I'm, somebody asked me the other day, they said, what's your short-term goals and your long-term goals? And my long-term goal is to be around for the long term. And if I am, all those short-term goals will have taken care of themselves, basically. And I want to keep building my fan base. I want to keep building, like I said, every album that I've released has done better than the previous one. You know, the Me and You album was gold. The I Will Stand album was platinum. The Everywhere We Go album was double platinum. And this Greatest Hits record looks like we're going to sell a lot of those too. So thank the good Lord. And so I just want to keep building my career and keep building it slowly and keep cutting great songs.
Great. Then one last question, a little unrelated, but are you based in Nashville now?
Yes.
Or, as a city, you know, we out here we just think of what Nashville must be like. You know, the buzz of songwriters, and you hear about these little things they have. What is Nashville like as a city town or as a music town?
Well, Nashville is a pretty cool town. I mean, it's pretty. Nashville's a pretty hip town to be in Tennessee. I mean, it's really there's a lot of music there. Obviously, it's Music City, USA, but there's not to go out and hear country music somewhere. It's really hard to do that. But you can go out and hear music every night of the week. But it's a really cool town. It's a great place to grow up. I mean, I didn't grow up in Nashville. I grew up in Knoxville, but it's a great place to live. You get 4 seasons there, and it's really a neat place.
Great. Now, just one last thing is just if you can give me a lead-in for my piece.
Okay.
Just look right in the lens, introduce yourself, and say thanks for flying with me today.
Hey everybody, I'm Kenny Chesney, and thanks for flying with me today.